My name's Trevor Joseph, you're watching Rolling Slow Media, and in today's video, we're here with Colin and his two beautiful cars. But what we really want to find out is which one is his favorite. Guys, I already know. I mean, I'm sure you guys already know as well. But yeah, let's find out from Colin and see which one's his favorite. You're watching Rolling Slow Media. Colin.
Morning to you.
How are you doing?
Very well, thanks.
Thank
very
you
well.
so much for coming on the channel and
You're
bringing
welcome.
me down to your lovely little secluded man cave.
Yeah. Thank you for travelling all the way. It's appreciated. Thank you very much.
And yeah, today we're going to get a chance to go out in both of these cars and compare them. But I don't know if you can really compare 80s and 90s. Obviously,
No.
the
Nearly 2000s, actually.
yeah, British and German.
Yeah.
But the reason why
Kit car.
I'm here, is I want to know what's your favourite.
Well, that's really me.
I know,
Until
right?
December, it was that.
Yeah.
And then when this was offered to me, this was the car for me. But if I sort of explain why I've got both, that might help.
Oh,
really,
okay,
to
so
be
which
honest.
one you got first? You got the
I
Lotus,
got the
yeah?
Lotus first,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
I bought that a couple of years ago
Yeah.
from a really good friend of mine, Tim. He probably owns 7 Lotuses and has owned Lotuses for ever and a day.
Yeah.
This was one that he'd owned for 31 years, said that it was going to thin out some of his stocks. Would I be interested?
Yeah.
I'd already seen the car, so I knew about it, and I thought, yeah, I've never had a Lotus. There's a lot to be said for a Lotus. I thought,
Okay.
yeah, it's great. And when I looked at it, and yeah, I'll have that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and I like the idea of old school engine,
Yeah.
overhead valve, twin cam, breathe in through carburetors, 4-speed manual with overdrive. There's a choke, pop-up headlights, driving through the rear wheels.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic driving experience. You know, there's nothing in there you don't need. The steering wheel is just for steering.
Yeah.
I really like that. Modern cars, you know, you can do everything off the steering wheel, and that I really like that. It's great to drive. It's not the fastest in the world, but it's really engaging to drive. So, and it has pop-up headlights, which I think I've mentioned. but
Okay.
that's just great. Yeah.
So was this a childhood dream, but it was like a one day I'm going to go in one of these.
Yeah, the Porsche, not the Lotus.
Okay.
The
okay.
Lotus, if it had been a childhood dream, which would have been the Lotus Esprit from the 77 and 80s James Bond films.
Yeah.
They were never posters on the wall for anody.
I was about to say that they're not really poster cars, are
poster
they?
cars, no. And I think they were very niche, very
Yeah.
small, hand built, very small market for them.
When I was growing up, the only Lotus that anyone ever wanted was the one out of James Bond.
Yeah. Can't afford it, never will. I'd love one, don't get me wrong, I'd love one. I think it's about 1983 Lotus Esprit Turbo Essex.
Yeah.
You know, they're just a fantastic looking car, and I'd love one. You know, as a child growing up, Porsche was the thing, and Ferrari and
Yeah, those were the
Lamborghini,
poster
but
cars, weren't
Lotus
they?
was also there, you know. And the way I looked at this was like, if you think about how it's laid out, engine, transmission, drive, all of that, it's very Escort type of thing, Mark 1, Mark 2 Escort, but with a Lotus badge and a sleeker body. And I'm not saying it's better than an Escort.
Right.
I don't want to upset the Ford people, because I'd love an Escort. But
So my next
again, can't
question,
afford one.
okay, so you've got the Lotus, tick. Then you decided you wanted to get the Porsche.
Yeah.
So what made you go for a 996 and what made you go for a Carrera 4?
Right, okay. The reason I went for a 996 is can't afford an air-cooled. Yeah, long story
I don't
short,
think anyone can
any
anymore.
of them. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have had a 993, 964 or anything G-bod, any of them,
Yeah.
but just couldn't afford them. And this was it's still a 911 at the end of the day, which says a lot for me. Poster on the wall back in the 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
911,
These were.
you know, I just had to have one. And this sort of came to me by chance, really. And it was only 30 minutes from home to view it. So there was no distance at all. And met the owner, spoke to the owner, looked at the paperwork and thought, yeah, I'm having it. And then the C4, the C4 to me, I'm not a race driver, never going to be. But I like the sure-footedness that I feel the C4 gives me over, the scary two-wheel drive, rear-engined Porsches of the day. And I'm sure the 996 and those generations after are not that bad. But this just gives me confidence when I'm driving, wet or dry. So that's it. Yeah, and so, I just like the car. Yeah, modifications. The only two things I've done is the interior is completely grey, like Porsches of the period, and I just felt it was too much grey. Like the grey, but it was too much, so I put on a black 4-spoke steering wheel and a black gear lever gaiter and gear knob. Other than that, I've left it completely stock because it is a stock car.
You know what? Like it looks like it literally just rolled straight out of the factory. Like no mods, literally like it was just you know, not even out of the factory, out of the forecourt. It just came straight out of the forecourt. You know, it's such a clean, nice car.
And it's funny you say that because even the paintwork, when I've machine polished it and I checked all the paint depths, the paint depth would indicate to me that it's factory paint as well. It's never been painted. Bumpers are probably a different story, and I can't check those, but I should imagine they've had some paint. But you know, every other panel is factory fresh, so that even adds up to that as well, really, to be honest. So that I really like as well. Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah.
You know what? I think we need to take these out for a spin.
I'd love to.
And then decide. I mean, I already know what I think is his favourite car. But guys, I want you to try and figure out which one you think is his favourite. So should we jump in?
Yeah, let's go for a drive.
Nice, let's go for it. Let's go in.
Yeah.
Right guys, we've just jumped in Colin's 996 Carrera 4. This is the first time I've been in a Carrera 4. I have been in a Carrera 4S. So it's really nice to see the difference between the two, and there is a definite difference. I feel like the Carrera 4S is it's like a diet turbo. You know, it has everything that the turbo has, bar the turbo. Styling, body, handling,
brakes.
Exactly the same, yeah. So this feels like a light, you know, like a sugar-free version of the
low-fat
Carrera 4S. But yeah, it's lovely, man. Nice interior. Like it's been kept really well.
Yeah, very pleased. Yeah.
You know, I always find it confusing where the window switches are in the middle, because every time I want to wind the window down, I always lean to the left.
This car, I've done a couple of changes in it since I've had it. So you can see the interior is all grey, which I like. Yeah. And it's extended leather, which again is nice. But I just felt there was too much grey, so I switched out the steering wheel for a black steering wheel. Didn't go 3-spoke because I actually like the 4-spoke. I kind of like it as it came with the car, and also I've changed the gear lever as well to a black one, just for a contrast to the interior. Yeah, it's nice, really man. Nice OEM mods, you know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, all second hand. You know, there was nothing expensive or new, so but the car, I really like it. I just, you know, 911 for me, as we've mentioned before, has been a dream since childhood, and can no longer afford an air-cooled. Don't get me wrong, I'd love an air-cooled 906 G series, 993, you know, all of those, just love them to bits. But this is still a 911, despite what some people say. And it was affordable to me, but you still have the same driving thrill and experience, and knowing you're looking at that little Porsche emblem, the silhouette of the 911, which has changed very little, even by today's standards. You know, the modern 911s are still very similar silhouette, but maybe a bit bigger. So this to me is still a 911. So
and you know what, you live, or should I say you live? Do you live around here?
Yeah, locally.
Okay. I'll say you live in such a nice country, like you've got these really nice country lanes. I think I would be out every evening. I know you must be, right?
Well, when I
look at these roads.
For me to get to work in my works van is 12 to 13 minutes. And I know it because I've done it so often. But that's not long enough for this to warm up if I take it into work. Because I'll take it home at the weekends, Friday. I'm just get excited, chuck the van in the barn, get the Porsche out, go out and
go for a nice country blast.
Yeah, all over the weekend, drop it back Monday morning, but it takes me about 25 minutes to get to work.
Because you go the long way.
Because I'm going the long way.
Yeah,
because I want to enjoy it for that last savoury moment before I start work.
Do you drive past your barn and then come back?
I might do. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm nearly, I'll just go a bit further.
Yeah.
And also I want to get the engine warm because, you know, these things do need to be warm. Not just the coolant temperature, but the oil temperature as well. So you do need to do that little bit of extra driving and thoroughly enjoy it, you know. Whether be raining or dry and beautiful like today, this is a car you can drive in all weathers, which I really like, you know.
Have you driven this in there? What's it like? What's the four-wheel?
It fills you with confidence.
Yeah,
Continental tyres, all-wheel drive. It just fills you with confidence, and hopefully you don't take that confidence too far. But it does, and I'm quite sure. You know, going around the corners I'm going around now, I know them really well, but it just inspires you to drive as though it wasn't wet. I know that probably sounds a bit daft, but you know, the all-wheel drive just fills you with further confidence, really, to be honest.
Can you feel when the front is sort of participating in keeping the car stable as the rear is trying to sort of throw you out?
Yes, but you can also feel the front pulling you into the corner as well, you know, really inspires you. And I've never felt the back end go loose, and I don't want to, I can assure you that'll be a nerving moment.
Right, so we are in the Lotus, and this car, I can see that this car is as period correct as period correct can be, right?
Yeah, even the wooden gear knob. And here, folks, for the younger generations, we have a choke.
And for anyone who doesn't know what a choke is...
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. You have to pull that out to start the car when it's cold.
Right, let's get my seatbelt, guys. What's going on? Here we go.
But the previous owner, when I bought it off of him, and he'd owned it 31 years, so he knew all about this car, and he owns 7 Lotuses, so he's a Lotus through and through man. He said never use the choke. I was like, oh, okay. He said what you do, start it from cold, put your foot to the floor 5 times, turn the key, it'll fire up, or you just feather the throttle a little bit, and when it's hot, put your foot flat to the floor on the throttle, turn the key, it'll run. Never touch the choke.
So what engine's in this?
This is a 2.2, 16 valve twin cam.
Right.
And it breathes, like I said in the other video, just to clarify while we're in it, through twin 40 carburetors, so proper old school, 4-speed manual with an overdrive. Why they don't call it fifth, I'm not sure.
I should know what an overdrive is, but I don't, so I'm not even going to pretend like I know.
It's just like a fifth gear, really, to be honest. And then it drives through the rear wheels.
You know, I like the nice gap that they've got here. It's like a nice little armrest.
Armrest, yeah. And I said to many people about this car, it's the most comfortable car I've driven. Not from a Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Jaguar kind of feeling, but everything is, and I love that noise too, everything is where you need it to be for driving. Yeah. You know, the gear stick falls just right, the steering is absolutely just fantastic. It just, everything works. The simplicity of the dash, it's... Yeah, it's a terrific car.
1 second. Camera's holding. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say I like this car because I probably would be lying. I think this is a Marmite car, isn't it? This is like you either like these cars
Lotuses
or
of this period,
you don't like
or you
them,
don't.
right?
Yeah. And like I said in the previous video we did, or I've always been a car guy, loved cars, all sorts of cars, and when my friend Tim said, thinking about thinning my collection, like I said, would you be interested in the Excel, which is this is Lotus Excel from 1985. I said, yeah, let's have a look. And then
1985.
85, yeah. As soon as I saw it again.
Isn't that the year Marty McFly travelled to the future?
I'm not sure. Possibly, yeah.
Travelled to the past, sorry.
Yeah. But it was the year I passed my driving test. So,
right.
you know, to be driving a car.
Did you have this on your wall as a kid, as opposed? No.
No. The car at the time to own was the Esprit, which was the car to have. You know. That's why.
That's like from the James Bond days, right?
Yeah, James Bond days.
Would you not have preferred an Esprit?
Yeah, like air-cooled 911s.
Yeah.
They're way up there,
okay.
beyond, you know. And this, you're still getting the same engine. It's the same engine in this as the Esprit, same horsepower as the Esprit, but considerably cheaper. And these were renowned for being fantastic drivers' cars.
You know, it drives and it feels really smooth.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a car from the 80s.
No.
I mean, well, it looks like a car from it, and it has that 80s smell.
Yeah.
But it just rides quite comfortably, doesn't it?
Oh, it's not an uncomfortable car at all. You know, for a sports car, which is truly what it is, a proper sports car, you know, it drives really comfortably, but it will still pick its skirt up and go if you wanted to, and the steering is just superb. As the Porsche.
What sort of power and torque are these cars pushing out?
It's 160 horsepower.
Okay.
Don't know the torque. You generally find that torque and horsepower in most cars, from what I've seen, generally follow suit. So it's probably around 160, 170 Newton meters.
Yeah.
I don't really know, to be quite honest.
I don't know, does it even matter with a car like this?
No, it doesn't. No. It's a car you can really enjoy, and although you feel like you're going really fast, you're barely breaking the national speed in it, which is nice.
When this car came out, what was its competitor?
Mitsubishi Starion, which ironically, as I said when we were out in the Porsche, I worked for a cult dealer, which then became Mitsubishi. So that was a car that was out at the time.
Yeah.
Porsche 944.
Yeah.
These were launched at exactly the same time as the 944, and ran for the same number of years as the 944.
Yeah.
Both ran out in around 91, 92. Launched at the same time. But to put that in perspective, because I've looked into cars like I do when I'm looking to buy one. I like to know everything.
Yeah.
They made around 2,000 of these in that 10-year period, and they made around 170 944s in the same period. So it just shows you how rare these are. And there might be some people out there that say, yeah, well, that's because all the Lotuses broke down. That's why there's not. Because we know what they say. Lotus, lots of trouble, usually serious. That's just harsh. Yeah.
Colin, thanks once again for bringing me down to your man cave to go out for a spin in these two lovely cars. I mean, okay, I'm a Porsche man, so the Porsche wins for me.
Yeah.
But I think you're a Lotus guy, but you're swaying towards the Porsche. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're pretty near there, really, to be honest. Yeah, like I said before, this was something I desired when I was, 10, 11 and 12, so eventually I've made it, but I do like that.
All right, Colin, thank you so much once again, bro.
No trouble.
Pleasure.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, share this content, and if you've got cars like this, or a car collection, or anything nice that you think would look great on this channel, my words are getting all mumbled up. Yeah, if you've got anything that you think would look nice on the channel, just hit me up, drop me a message on Instagram, or just drop me a message below. All right, anyway, I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care, peace.